In just over 3 months, Nintendo will pull Super Mario 3D All-Stars from both digital and physical shelves. The collection released to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary was never meant to be a permanent item in Nintendo catalog. It is a special anniversary game after all. This decision, however, still rubs many gamers the wrong way, and I do get it. Technically speaking, every game is a limited release, as the production of the physical copies will stop at some point. It's more the digital copies that bug me personally. I don't see any real reason to remove the game from the Nintendo eShop beyond just trying to push people into getting the game right this moment out of fear that they might end up missing out on it. However, I digress. That's not what I want to talk about today. No. Today, I want to review this collection of 3D Mario games. A bit on the late side of things, I know, but truth be told, this video is more of an experiment than anything else. I've got some extra free time at the moment, and thus decided to use that extra free time to turn one, or maybe even a few, of my older blog posts into videos. However, there are no doubt still a few people out there who haven't picked this game up yet, and for those of you, I do hope that this review will help you finally decide if you want to pick up this game or not. Before I move any further, I do have to make clear that this review will not discuss each game within the collection in much detail. Let's face it, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy are all classic games. We all know that these are excellent experiences by now, and if you like Mario, you know what you're getting into. As such, this review won't go in depth on each game. I'll talk about them briefly, sure, but I'll focus more on the collection as a whole rather than on each game individually. And when I say I focus more on the collection as a whole, I mean stuff like how do these games run, what are some of the improvements, if any, made to them, and what are some of the extra goodies that Nintendo threw into this collection. With that out of the way, and without further ado, let's take a look at Super Mario 3D All-Stars and see if it's a game worth picking up. The first thing that draws your attention when you boot up the game is the overall presentation. The game starts with a wonderful opening that shows off the animation that plays when Mario collects a star transitioning into the game's logo. Neat! The subsequent menu is basic, but effective. It shows each game down at the bottom, in this case represented by their original box art. A random song from the soundtrack quietly plays in the background. When selecting each title, you get a sort of back-of-the-box-like description, and when you finally boot a title up, you get a unique loading screen with a still image from the game. Again, it is all rather basic, but it does look good, and the menu is easy to navigate. The music that's included with the collection, totaling 170 tracks across all 3 games, can be accessed from the menu by selecting each game's respective CD, which is placed left from the games themselves. You can either select just one track to play, or let them play automatically one after the other. You can't loop tracks though, so that is a bit of a shame. Finally, the Switch can be placed in sleep mode while the music plays, saving you a lot of battery power. All in all, a very good, if not basic, presentation that makes for a good first impression. Let's get this out of the way early on, as I've seen quite a few people really upset about this. All 3 games in this collection are emulated. This means that, for those of you who don't know, that instead of reworking the code of each game so that it would run on the Nintendo Switch hardware natively, they are put into a program that emulates the hardware and software of the original platform. Emulation has a stigma to it in the gaming community, and Super Mario 3D All-Stars has thus been criticized for its use of it. But really, I don't see the problem. I mean, 90% of all people who are playing this game don't really care how it is that these games are running on the Switch as long as they are running on it, and that they do very well. While none of them might have gotten a thorough visual overhaul like many might have wanted, like myself, all of them have been optimized for the new hardware. They run as smooth as butter and on a higher resolution to boot. The visuals have been cleaned up, and while Super Mario 64 still looks as blocky as ever, the picture is much clearer, the details are much better to distinguish, And in the case of Super Mario Galaxy, the game even looks like it could have been a launch title of the Switch. It looks that good. The games might not have been as thoroughly reworked as some of us might have hoped, but in the end, the improvements that have been made are noticeable, and the games do run much better as a result. What has also been improved across all three games are the menus, the heads-up display, and yes, even the fonts. I first noted this myself when looking up some gameplay videos from the original Super Mario 64 for comparison to the version here, and saw that the on-screen icons for your lives, collected coins, and stars were different. On the Nintendo 64, they were much smaller. They were less clear and had some nasty black edges around them. Here on the Nintendo Switch version, all of this has been cleaned up. The heads-up display has been improved for all three games, with Sunshine even resizing and repositioning some elements to make them less cumbersome. The audio and cutscenes are cleaned up and improved as well, and Galaxy even has a new icons and graphs to add to it when explaining the game's motion controls. Oh, and if you press the minus button on the left Joy-Con, you open up an extra menu which shows you the controls, amongst other things. Speaking of the controls, I do have a few things to say about that, and it's not all positive. The big one is the motion controls of Super Mario Galaxy. In docked and tabletop modes, the motion controls of the original Wii game are replicated by using the right Joy-Con internal gyroscopes, while Mario's spin dash has been remapped to the Y button. An elegant solution that works fine. It's the handheld mode where the problem lies. Collecting star bits and other interactions that required the pointer are now put on the touchscreen. This wouldn't have been a problem if it not that you needed to have both hands on the controls in order to properly control the game. This means that if you want to use a touchscreen to collect star bits or whatnot, you need to let go of the controls and you're not capable of fully accessing all Mario's moves. My final nitpick with the controls used to be that Super Mario Sunshine was not compatible with the original GameCube controller, even though Nintendo has officially licensed GameCube controllers compatible with the Nintendo Switch hardware. Since a recent update, the game is once again fully compatible with the GameCube controller, and thus the controller of the original hardware that Super Mario Sunshine was released on. However, when you use the GameCube controller, the menu icons and the explanations for the controls don't adjust back to that of the original GameCube version. So that is something you do have to keep in mind. Well, in conclusion, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is a stellar package of three of Mario's and gaming's most memorable titles. It provides welcoming, if only small, updates to each title, giving them portability and makes them the definitive version of these games to play. Adding 117 music tracks alongside a premium feeling presentation, and I feel that you've got your value right here. Yes, Nintendo's decision to make the game available until March 2021 only, even digitally, is a very consumer-unfriendly decision. Taking this aside and just looking at the package that we have here, I do think that Super Mario 3D All-Stars is worth picking up, especially if you have never been able to play these games before. This was the end of the review. I'd like to once again thank you for watching, and as I've said before in the opening, this is more than an experiment than anything else. I don't know if I'll keep continuing making videos. I do have a slight plan, but I'll see how much time I have, how well it goes, this video goes over, how well I can combine it with my written blog, and all that things. If you do have some suggestions for me to improve this video, or just any other comments, want to have a conversation, you can leave all of those in the comment section below. And until next time, this is FT Wolf signing out.